I don't remember my first house of cards. Later in life, it kind of found me and quite honestly hijacked my entire life. And I find myself doing this all the time. It seems like it's a pretty strange phone calls these days. Hey, I'm Bryan Berg, the card stacker. I'm going to spend the next 3 days of my life building the Rhode Island State Capitol building out of about 22,000 playing cards. No tape, no glue, all cards freestanding, just one card on top of another. So I'm about a couple hours into this and I've basically drawn a footprint. And now is when I stand here for hours and stare at it thinking about what the most efficient and also the most beautiful way of doing it would be. So I literally build the whole building in my head and then I start working. I think most of the time when I tell people that I'm a card stacker, they think that has something to do with gambling or counting cards or something like that. The moment I knew that I had found something incredible, I discovered this honeycomb pattern which I use extensively to this day. That day I built to the ceiling in my parents' house and it was such a breeze. I couldn't even believe that it works so well. I thought, wow, I'm really onto something here. The Rhode Island State House, I wouldn't call it a terribly difficult or tricky building structurally. It's difficult because classical and neoclassical buildings have these fine proportions that make them really sing. And they also trick you as a viewer. You know, if I get down real low and look up at it, the dome's going to look really kind of small compared to the rest of the building. If I look at it from head on, it's going to look like an oversized growth. How does the average Joe out there, what's their visual memory of this thing? Every project has a long, ugly duckling stage. Some of the most time-consuming, least exciting work that I'll do really won't pay off visually for a long time. It's hard for me as, you know, the worker bee to kind of keep building this hive, looking at it and thinking, man, it's ugly. And then after a while, I'm like, whoa, it's starting to come together. And then I get this new energy that allows me to like really rock through it. Magic's in the details and those don't happen till later. A lot of people will walk up to me and the first thing they'll say is, I'm going to knock that down, or what would you do if I did this? And I somehow wonder if I were sitting here painting oil on canvas, no one would walk up to me and say, what if I, squirted ketchup all over your painting? Or what if I put a knife through your canvas? No one would even think of that. People are sort of intuitively drawn towards destruction. They like to see things begin, they like to see things end. I think that notion is as old as the whole sort of idea of a house of cards. That's what that even means. I think people feel like they're kind of being ripped off or that I'm trying to swindle them in some way if they don't get a chance to see that proof of the reality of this, which is the destruction of it. In my effort to kind of give them that, I also sort of celebrate that myself because I really do enjoy destroying them, and I also learn a lot. When I knock these things down, I actually am really taking notes on what the structure does when different things are imposed upon it. And each time I build something bigger and tear it down, it makes me have a bit more guts, I guess is what I'm saying. People have all different kinds of reactions to what I do and my work. There's one group of people that think that I'm totally wasting my life away, that I'm not contributing to society in any way, shape, or form. The other camp thinks that this is the most brilliant, unbelievable, beautiful, sort of telling thing. People will say to me, you've made this impossible thing so possible by just playing with it. Imagine what else is possible. And that's what I take from it. I think, well, there's got to be a cure for cancer. There's got to be that stuff out there because we just haven't played with it long enough.